Hi, everybody. Today we're going to go through another machine that I found very useful. You can download it from sickOS. So let's just start by identifying the IP address. This is my IP address. Let's make note of it and quickly start a network scan to discover the IP address of the vulnerable machine. That seems to be the one. And quickly make note of it. We'll need it later on. Uh, Straight away, we move on to the port scanning. I'm using a comprehensive port scan with the dash A option. I'm using dash B dash for those of you who've been doing these kind of CTF, that's dash B dash will scan all the available ports. It's always good practice to use dash B dash because that's what enable you to access um, ports that might be open and they are not traditional one above 1000 and even above 2000s, but the common ones mainly are. The only downside of this kind of scan is that it's tend to be much slower sometimes. Okay, dash T4 to speed up the process of the scanning, which is again very important for us. So yes, we just wait for it to complete the scan. Good. So now it's completed. You can see that we have SSH running on port 22. We have what seems to be a proxy service running on port 3128. This is very interesting, um, simply because of this, we need to do some major configurations. So if you go to the settings here, you go to the network settings, you can see that I added this proxy. Let's show you the difference. If I disable that proxy, and for example, I try to go to that site 192.168.102, you can see it goes nowhere. So that's why I add that proxy. Likewise, if I just run, let's say, dirt to discover the ports without specifying any proxy, you can see there is nothing happened here. So in order to deal with that issue, we just need to use the dash P option, specify the proxy, and that will give us the directories. So you can see now if I say this, nothing will happen. So what we need to do is to add the proxy here if we would like to access the web pages. And now I can go to the, for example, the index web page. Yeah. I can use source code just in case there's nothing interesting there. Let's look at the other web directory that's were discovered. We have the robots.txt, which is very useful. Yes, that's good. On robots.txt, we found that it has a CMS unit. So basically what you can do, you just go ahead here and you trying to access the CMS unit. Okay, so that's Wolf CMS unit, which is very useful to know. So that's potentially might be an attack vector that we could follow. Um, what else can we do? We can, yeah, since it's a web application, we can use Nikto, for example, with the dash use proxy to see if there are any vulnerabilities. And you can see that the CGI bin seems to be vulnerable to shell shock. That's interesting. So quickly, a quick search here. You might find loads of tutorial CGI bin shell shock. And there are loads of write-ups I came across. They explain how you could potentially exploit this attack or this vulnerability. This one here seems to be good because it enables me to have a shell back from the service. So what I'll do, I will try it here. So I will start by getting a listener. Also, now I can just paste this, make the required changes. For example, my port number is 4444. My IP address is 192.168.0.18. The server IP address is 1020. If everything is okay, now I should get a shell. And yes, we managed to get a shell. So this is a first way that we can exploit this service. Remember, we already found Wolf CMS, so let's try to pursue that lead as well. Again, let's quickly search on Google if there are any available exploits for this one. Wolf CMS exploit. We have remote code executions. We have this one. Let's look at each one of them. Okay, so that's give me a proof of concepts. It shows me the vulnerable URL. Okay. It requires me to log in. That means I need to find credentials. Let's have a look at this one. Again, it requires me to log in order to upload. So let's spend some time, see if we can, let's see if we can figure out if there's any default credential. Wolf CMS default. So we can look online to see if there are, okay, so the default seems to me it's admin. So there is a good chance that this is a username. Okay, but also since we know where the Wolf CMS directory is, what we can do, we can try to run dirtbuster again, but this time with Wolf CMS and see if we can discover some directory that might leak some information for us. Let's go, for example, to the, I don't think any config would have anything, but let's go and go with it. As a pen tester, you should basically look through all the links. We can quickly search for admin. There's nothing here. Let's search for user. Again, there's nothing. That's first one. Let's go through the second one. Okay, this page also shows the password, username, and password. You log in with the admin. That's very interesting. You log in with the admin username and password. That means it is most likely the admin is both the username and password. Okay, let's put this theory in practice. And okay, so the vulnerable URL seems to be this one, right? So what I would do, I would copy it. I will go back to the directory and see if that will give me something. Okay, so again, admin, and let's use the password as admin here. Do not save. Okay, so that is very, very useful. Now I have access to the web page that I can upload files, and also I can create a new files and I can create a new directories. What I might try to do now, this seems to me, let's see, create, I said upload file. Okay, okay, that's interesting. So what I would do, I would try to upload a PHP file, and that PHP file, I will put it with the reverse shell, then start a listener. Let's just follow the tutorial here if it shows me any further details. Okay, it seems that's wherever your shell would be in the CMS public. Okay, so that should be fine. So what I would do here now, let's start a new tab. Okay, that's very useful. Nano PHP repair shell. Quickly try to just configure the IP address to 192.168. So 192.168.0.18, that is my IP address. Let's leave the 1234 port number, and let's, for simplicity, call this one as hello.php. So we stick with the tutorial with the exploit manual. Now we can go to the web page here. Let's close these. Browse. This is the one. And just upload. Okay, it was uploaded. The next step is to go to this URL, the public. But before that, let's start a listener. 1234, 1234, and go to this URL. And again, we manage here to have a shell. Um, it's up to you now which shell you want to use to get access or to escalate your privilege. I will stick with the first one that we have. And let's start by see if there's anything of interest here. Sudo dash L to see what kind of stuff we can run. Okay, no TT present. So basically, they want me to upgrade it into a proper one. So what I would do, I would try to upgrade it by having a proper shell. Okay, I don't know the password for this one. That's interesting. Let's try to see if the other shell will enable me to get something like. So definitely I don't have the password here. So sudo is not an option. What we might be looking at is, for example, let's see the home directory. What users account we have? We have sickOS. So if I say ls home sickOS, for example, let's dash all sickOS. Okay, that's good. So we know that we have a user account then called sickOS. Let's confirm this by looking inside the password file. Let's see. What does it say? Okay, cd. Let's see. That's wd. Good. Yes, we saw that there is a made user account called sickOS. Okay, so that's interesting. What we can do now is we can try to search for passwords, and I'm going to use, referring to my cheat sheet, referring to some scripts find that enables me to look for passwords in directories. So for example, I will use this one here. Green. I don't think I'll need this. So okay. Okay, so that's looks like the file. We might try to use something slightly different. Okay. So we use this one here and try to look for the password, and you can see it showed me that we have some configuration files that might contain passwords. So here I can see that you have a database username and password. Just let's make note of it, root and John at 123. John 123. Okay, so that's good. The next thing we might try to do here is try to use these credentials to access the web. To access the SSH. So if I type root 102 and hit enter, then the password is John at 123. That get me nowhere. This is not the right password. Now, what I established also that there is a user account called sickOS. So I will try to use that credential with sickOS and see if that might get me in CTF. This is a very common most of the time. Joan and 123. And yes, we managed to get another shell. If I type sudo dash L, then Joan and 123. Yes, I can run basically all the command with the escalated privilege. So potentially I will be able to escalate my access right using sudo here, sudo su, and yes, I am at the root. And that is the flag file inside the root directory. So that's basically how you can exploit the sickOS in two different ways using the shell shock exploitation and exploit a built-in vulnerability in the CMS. I hope that you enjoyed this one. See you in another video. Bye for now.